What's going on, peeps? You may remember my video last year about Benson Boone unmasking his come up to see how he got from point A to point B. It somehow became one of my most popular videos, and let's just say a lot has happened since that one. You could say this is a major follow-up video. Let's catch up. As you've probably seen, Benson Boone has become one of the more polarizing acts in the music world right now. People are sick of him doing backflips everywhere he goes. They think he's a Harry Styles fill-in while he's gone. They aren't a fan of his outfits. His music is being overplayed on the radio and social media. And of course, Moonbeam Ice Cream. If you came for a Benson Boone hate video, you came to the wrong place. Find another commentary YouTuber that thrives off negativity. This is going to be me defending Benson Boone, as I just find the hate against him to be absolutely ridiculous. These people complain about wanting an actual performer in pop music, but when Benson Boone comes around, y'all say he's overdoing it? Thankfully, Benson himself hasn't taken any of this to heart and has actually joined in on the joke. Smart move. That's how you know he's going to be around for a while. Sorry, haters. With that being said, let's continue where we left off and why I believe the Benson Boone hate is very forced. Beautiful Things ended up becoming one of the most popular songs in the world in 2024. It was ranked number 3 on the year-end list in the US, beating out Not Like Us, Espresso, I Had Some Help, and $1 Million Baby. Boone never got to secure that number 1 spot though, just being shut down by the killing spree Kendrick Lamar went on that year. 2024 was a wonderful, packed year for pop music. Heck, Beautiful Things is still somehow in the Billboard Top 10 right now, right along his fellow Whoville member Teddy Swim's Lose Control. My theory has been that Warner is pushing both songs to stick around as long as possible to surpass The Weeknd's Blinding Lights record under Republic. This takes us to the first layer of hate Benson has been getting: overplay. This is normal for a song that is insanely popular. It becomes overplayed and the general public usually gets sick of it and wants to hear it less, which almost doesn't seem to be the case with this one and most songs from 2024. They are staying around so long they might be considered dinosaurs. Not even the Morgan Wallen asteroid named I'm the Problem could leave them extinct. If I was to guess, the younger generation are likely the ones actually sick of them, but the older generation that doesn't get exposed to them through TikTok are likely just hearing about them. It helps that Beautiful Things in general has a timeless generational rock sound to it. We'll be hearing the son of Petro Pascal's screech for the next 50 years, y'all. That's one of my concerns with Benson going forward. His voice is going to be damaged by the end of his run. Those notes he hits on the chorus are not easy. They require this chest voice singing technique that must be hell to put on each night. He's at risk of suffering vocal strains, swelling, or hemorrhoids vocal cords. I have the same fears for the man who took Boone under his wing, Dan Reynolds of Imagine Dragons. A lot of their songs include a lot of screaming. Praying for those guys' voices and hopefully they take great care of them. Thankfully, one positive about Boone being a former Mormon is not only having a great faith in Jesus, but he also still practices great LDS values like refusing to drink alcohol or use drugs, which could prevent his voice from giving out early. That's why a lot of rock stars from back in the day sound completely different from their heyday. I'm glad Benny is taking a different approach. Slow It Down was also a big hit for him this year, but not nearly as huge as its predecessor, only peaking at number 32. It did cement Benson as anything other than a one-hit wonder, in my opinion. Boone would continue to take on the world of his Fireworks and Rollerblades World Tour, as well as getting huge co-signs from the likes of Lana Del Rey and Taylor Swift. He was booked to open for her legendary Eras Tour on June 23, 2024 in London. He impressed her audience with his stage presence, athleticism, and voice. He also said he needed Taylor Swift that night. I need Taylor Swift. Don't let Travis Kelce see that clip. Swift would later praise Benny during the show, stating he's a showman, the real deal, a legit star, as he watched from the stands in pure shock. 3 years ago, he was a complete no-name from Washington with nothing but hometown support. Now he's getting praise from the greats of pop. Boone continued his hot streak with a few singles, releasing Death Wish Love for the Twister soundtrack in July, and embraced folk rock territory with Pretty Slowly in August. The latter didn't seem to catch on as I expected, tapping out at number 86. He didn't drop anything else until next year as he continued his tour and recorded his sophomore album. Occasionally interact with fans through TikTok and the official Benson Boone Discord that he is a member in. Yes, this has been around since 2022 and it's about as chaotic as you can expect. Taking us to his next viral moment at the 2024 VMAs on September 11th, where he performed Beautiful Things and hit his coveted backflip off a grand piano. A signature move in his set that he still delivers to this day. It's probably been a while since you've seen a pop artist perform like this, maybe since Chris Brown. The only recent comparison I can make is of hip-hop artist Jaleel performing this stunt off the damn rafters. Look, if I was able to do a backflip as clean on the ground as Benson, I would spam emote this move as many times as possible. I would be insufferable to be around. This move, while absolutely impressive, especially during a performance that already requires a lot of energy, has somehow gotten him pushback, or at least teasing, either out of jealousy or people believing he's doing too much. Is that all you can do, bro? You can't satisfy these chronically onliners, bro. The truth is, this stunt isn't even a new thing for Benson, dating back to 4 years old, doing flips off couches after seeing his father hit one off a balcony. Then there was his time as a swimmer in high school, in his 2021 American Idol audition, where he just randomly hit a round off into a back handspring after impressing Katy Perry. He continued to do similar moves as he rose in popularity during his earlier shows. Can you blame him? Another critique he has gotten is his look being similar to the late great Freddie Mercury, as well as Harry Styles. I've heard people claim that since Harry Styles has been out of action following his star-studded 2022, led by global hit As It Was, in the successful Love on Tour, Benson Boone has been subbed in as this replacement by the industry. There aren't a lot of true male pop stars at the moment, with Justin Bieber unfortunately being screwed over by Scooter Braun. The girlies are all the rage right now, shout out. Putting Benson Boone in a great position as the sole male pop star making all the noise. But it's not just this. Boone has been compared to Freddie and Harry for his theatrical, charismatic stage presence and flamboyant outfits. While I'm sure Benson is inspired by Freddie somewhat, I mean, who wouldn't want to take after him? I don't think Benson himself is trying to rip off either artist. This is truly his energy coming to life in real time with a bigger budget and more confidence. As I've detailed, he has always been this ball of fire and personality since his youth. He didn't wake up, blow up in 2024, and suddenly he's channeling the gods of Freddie Mercury. This has been a spirit building inside Boone for years. While he hasn't surpassed Mercury, which I doubt he will, it's a high bar in itself, he's undoubtedly an incredible performer that is worth seeing live. Bringing us to the 2022 Grammys on February 7th, where Benny delivered a viral performance that has received praise and a lot of memes. It practically shot his name and signature backflip move into the stratosphere. My video about him shot up by like 20,000 views the week this went down, showing how much impact it had across the internet. Whether it's the older generation being fascinated by this Freddie Mercury incarnate or a bunch of young trolls, it felt like the whole world was watching as the Grammy cameras panned to him, seated among the nominees, dressed sharply in a suit and tie. He nonchalantly grabs the mic from his suit, begins singing beautiful things to the other nominees. Heidi Klum and Nikki Glaser rip the suit and tie off him, to reveal he is wearing a mesh jumpsuit that, according to his comments in his Discord server, led to his family jewels being unbelievably squished, like a reverse thong on his nuts. Despite the pain, he rushes the stage, climbs the grand piano, and performs the classic front flip we know him for, belting the hook and finishing the performance with a gainer, sending the crowd into cheers. This even inspired Mark Zuckerberg to celebrate his wife's 40th birthday in a similar way. In conclusion, it was a great performance. Plus, I realized that Benson knows exactly how to create a moment, which is what we're missing in pop. We aren't getting these iconic moments every day like we used to. There's a reason he's gotten this big. He's intentional, calculated, and damn good at what he does. Call it clip farming or whatever, but when the whole world is watching, you've got to show them why you're there. Benny capitalized on this moment with a new single, Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else, on February 27th. I know this video has been a bit of a glazing session, but this has been my favorite song by Boone. It's infectious synth-pop, reminiscent of the early 2010s. Gives me One Direction vibes, funny enough. He is ripping off Harry Styles after all. Boone has a lot of charisma here. He sells this song with ease. It's also great to have an actual story in a pop song where he's out with a new lover, sees a former one that has him head over heels questioning who he should be seeing after all. I wish this got an actual music video. I can imagine Benny taking off, running, flipping over tables, spilling drinks and fries of customers just to reach this X-Flame. I'm specifically talking about the outro of the song that has to be one of my favorite moments in pop music this year. Slowly tossing you into a portal directed by a pulsating synth line where everything ramps up in intensity as Benson begs for another chance. My only gripe being is that it should have just rapped back into the chorus again. I wish it was less abrupt, but that was a heck of a surprise in my opinion. In March, Boone was finishing up his second album, American Heart, hoping to prove he was more than just the guy who sang beautiful things. It was written in 17 days with his longtime collaborator, Jack LaFrance, inspired by Bruce Springsteen and retro Americana music, as you can see by the cover art. To promote his upcoming release, Benson made his first appearance at Coachella 2025. on April 13th to create another viral moment. It started fairly normal, playing his biggest songs thus far, some unreleased, along with some Freddie Mercury inspired crowd chants. This led to his cover of one of the most legendary songs in the history of music, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. All of this was approved by surviving Queen guitarist Brian May. I mean, the man himself performed alongside him for this legendary moment in the festival's history, despite suffering a stroke recently. While it wasn't on the level of a Freddie Mercury, it was a damn good attempt, which is saying a lot. As you'd expect, that performance got blunt pushback from the internet for copying Freddie and not being original. Doesn't help that the crowd was dead. It seemed like the biggest critique was not for his performance, but his creativity. I just see it as a tribute to one of the most legendary artists and songs, similar to Bruno Mars paying tribute to classic R&B sounds of a modern take. Brian May didn't show up the second week, but his cardboard cutout did. In the midst of this controversy, Benson begins teasing a new song, Mystical Magical, through rapid TikTok promotion. It notably samples the 80s classic Physical by the late Olivia Newton-John. It continues where his previous single left off in a pop rock direction with a tight bass line, angelic harmonies, infectious melodies that stick in your head, and shimmering synth work. However, the part of the song that stands out the most is indeed the pre-chorus. Specifically the line, Moonbeam Ice Cream taking off your blue jeans. What this actually means is beyond human understanding. Just kidding, it was meant to be a nonsense placeholder line for the melody to overcome a moment of writer's block, but it was so catchy and silly they decided to keep it in the song. It wasn't until the song was actually released on April 24th when you'd start seeing it everywhere, and not usually for a good reason. According to this woman, if you enjoy Benson Boone's music, you are actually under the spell of the witch of Moonbeam Ice Cream. As a result, the line has led to various memes mocking it on social media for how nonsensical it is. I mean, 5 years ago, Harry Styles had the nonsensical phrase watermelon sugar high on the radio and nobody said a word. But when Boone wants to be a bit silly, suddenly it's a problem. I Want It That Way is one of the greatest pop songs of all time, and the lyrics really make no sense. I guess the internet just needs something to pick on for the month, as the song would continue to be associated with brain rot culture, with TikTokers posting gross looking food with the caption, "How Benson Boone's music sounds to me." Well, that's rude. Then there are the countless mashups where there's an unrelated sound or song with the word moon that transitions into the Moonbeam Ice Cream line. You can't escape Moonbeam Ice Cream. So how did Benson Boone respond to this hate? He leaned into it. You see, the best way to overcome negativity and jokes made about you is to use them to your advantage. While it may ruin the joke, it shows that you don't care, and people will stop trying to get a reaction out of you. Every time I've been made fun of in general, I've embraced it, which is what Benson is doing, making jokes about Moonbeam Ice Cream, having hilarious reactions to mashups on TikTok, and not seeming affected by the hate at all. All publicity is good publicity. Seriously, this man might have the best marketing team in the game right now. A few weeks ago, he appeared on Jimmy Fallon with a silly but classy demeanor that shows how much of a showman he is. When he was dared to hit a backflip mid-segment, he gave the people what they wanted, in an effortless way. He certainly won over his audience that now see him as a humble, down-to-earth, and breath of fresh air in the music industry. Boone would continue to troll his haters in his latest promo video for its upcoming album. It sees Benny wearing a one-hit wonder shirt, approaching his manager at Industry Plant Records. Yes, this isn't AI. His manager begs him to embrace a new gimmick instead of his Moonbeam backflip one as his stock is falling. This sort of self-awareness is hilarious in my opinion. It makes him come off as even more likable. His acting is also pretty damn good. In recent news, he put out a tribute to his mother, Mama Song, on May 22nd that was very moving to me as a mama's boy. His album American Heart will be out June 20th, meaning it'll be out by the time you see this video. I can understand if you're not a huge fan of his music, everyone has their own individual taste and style. The art form is subjective after all. But I mean, come on, this hate he is getting is just unnecessary and forced. I'm just glad Benson isn't taking any of this to heart with the exception of that DM that got leaked, which was more mature of a DM than most celebrities would send, I'll say. Trust me, these people want to say more about y'all than you think. I hope Benson Boone continues to do backflips, dress in ways that damage his family jewels, sing his heart out with precaution, and just be himself. Because this isn't a gimmick. The that Benson just pulled out of his closet one day. This is just what he is. So whoever is seeing this, I want you to continue to be the happiest, best, unfiltered version of yourself. Don't turn your heart into a ghost town. And if anyone is trying to put you down for it, just know that they are simply jealous that they're as full as life as you. Pray for them, and hopefully one day they'll be dancing like a white girl with you and eating Moonbeam ice cream on a Saturday night. Thank you for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it and want to see more like it, please subscribe and like for more base content. I know this video was more catty than most, but I just wanted to get out a message most people are thinking. I'll see y'all in the next one. Make sure to love all, including Benson Boone, and peace.
Thank you.